So I've always wondered, how do humans process information about the world in order to make rational decisions? Well, one of the ways we do so is by thinking about what is possible. If I know what is possible, then I can try to make a rational decision based on the potential possible outcomes. But how does the human mind develop the ability to think about multiple possibilities? Is it something innate or something we're born with? Or is it something that is learned? Well, recently, some cognitive scientists have argued that this ability may actually be learned. Let me show you an example. Imagine you're presented with three containers divided into a singleton side and a doubleton side. Let's say I told you that I hid $1,000 in container A and I hid $1,000 in container B or C. Now you get one shot to pick a container and win the money. Which container would you choose? Well, obviously you choose container A because that container must have the money in it. But what if I told you that young children are actually really bad at this? In fact, previous research has found that when given this exact task, 2.5-year-olds pick container A only half the time, and 3-year-olds pick it 60% of the time. Now, this led some cognitive scientists to hypothesize that the reason for children's failure on this task is due to their inability to represent the multiple possible places the money could be on the doubleton side. So they don't consider that the money could be in container B or it could be in container C. Now, what these scientists propose children do instead is make an assumption about where the money went. For example, they think the money is in container B and they think container C is empty. So when you ask them to pick a container, these children choose at random between container A and the container they think the money is in on the doubleton side, in this example, container B, which results in that roughly 50% selection of container A that we see in young children. Now, my thesis set out to test this hypothesis. I adapted the three containers game and made it so that instead of just picking a container, 3-year-old children were trained to first pick a container to throw away that they think is empty, and then pick one of the remaining 2 containers to open with the goal of getting a reward. I found that children overwhelmingly chose to throw away a container on the doubleton side. And when they did, they then chose to open container A only half the time. So these results are consistent with the hypothesis that children are making an assumption about where the money went on the doubleton side. They choose to throw away a container on the doubleton side because they think that container is empty. And then when left with this choice between a container that must have a reward in it and a container that only might have a reward in it, children chose at random between the 2 options. So this suggests that children under 4 have not developed the ability to consider multiple possibilities, suggesting that this ability is not something we're born with, but rather something we must learn later on in development. Thank you.